Hey y'all, it's day 56, I think, on the Appalachian Trail. Thank you so much for coming on this journey with me. I haven't made a video in a couple of days. Quite frankly, they were just bad. So I didn't put them out. I'm going to try to be a little better and I'm a little bit more vigilant on making videos. Whoops. And as the self-fulfilling prophecy that I said would happen actually did happen, I passed the 1,200 mile mark and didn't even notice. Not at all. I was so focused or so daydreaming on whatever I was doing, I walked right by it. And it's not like there's a sign or there's a whatever. If you don't pay attention, you'll miss it. And sometimes people put sticks on the ground that say, 1,200 or 900 or whatever, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes you see them. Sometimes you don't. And I didn't. I'd like to start counting down or start counting backwards now. Like I have 900 miles left. But I'm not disciplined enough to count forward, so I don't really know how that's going to work out. Anyway, how about my cousins, man, coming from off of their little vacation beach trip in North Carolina to just have dinner. That was their... And I had no idea. I was like, hey, what brings you guys here? They had a little camper and then they were like, well, you. I said, what do you mean me? Yeah, we were in North Carolina and we were getting ready to go back to Nebraska and we thought, hey, we got some time. Let's go track down Scott and have dinner with him. Who does that? That is so nice. That's so great. So grateful for it. The town that I was in, Port Clinton, we ate at their pub. They closed down again. It's a really small town. So the little hotel that they had attached to the pub wouldn't let me stay there because they share 3 rooms, share 1 bathroom. And I was thinking, why don't you just rent out one of those 3 rooms? Makes sense to me. You're making a third of the money, but at least you're making a third of the money. But I'm sure there's some regulation or regulatory or whatever that prevents them from doing that. So it's probably not their fault. But the woman, the waitress was like, well, there's a shelter just down the way. And I'm like, in town? And sure enough, there's a shelter in town, which I didn't stay at. My cousins drove me to 2 miles away to the town of Hamburg. And I stayed at a little hotel there. I don't have an issue staying in a shelter. I prefer them, actually. But if I'm in a shelter in the middle of nowhere, I have to defend against a bear. And I know that sounds, I got to defend against a bear. It's actually pretty easy. I sleep with my walking sticks near me so I can swing them at anything that comes near me. And I sleep with a pile of rocks near me as well. And that's if I'm in the shelter alone. If I'm in a shelter with other people, the bear doesn't really want anything to do with us. Because we're all making noise when we're weirdos in their element. So... And then most times, all I is just curious anyway. Or looking for food. And if you hang up your food, then they don't mess with you. But a shelter in town, you're laying there kind of vulnerable to anything. Some people have too many drinks and they're like, hey, let's go see what's happening at the shelter. And you're just laying there vulnerable. So I didn't like that at all. I did not stay there. I didn't even look at it. It's funded by a church, and I'm told it's a very nice shelter. But again, I'm not sure that I like that too much. So I stayed in town, and this morning I got up and I had a Cracker Barrel breakfast, which is my favorite. And then I made my way to the trail and started hiking. And this morning was up. Today was leg day, but every day is leg day. But I slept in a nice warm bed. I had a good meal. I had good fellowship with family last night. And, I'm like, hey, what am I doing here, man? Do I really want to be here? And my knees are like, oh, you don't really want to be here. And my right ankle's like, hey, remember I hurt. But I just got to push through that and keep walking because I know it's just my head playing tricks on me. And I'm already over it. So I'm just walking. Let's see. I haven't haven't talked to Chris Metcalf, but we've texted back and forth. And if there's a time that is amendable, then maybe we do get him out here for a week. What I didn't know is that he has his own retirement project that he's working on. And he just got, I want to say it's a 1969 GTA. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it's like the Eleanor car from the Fast and the Furious, one of those type of cars. And it's in pretty bad shape, and he's restoring it. So, if he can get out here and the time doesn't take away from what he's doing, then let's do that. But if it does, then I don't want to get in the way whatsoever. So we'll just kind of play that by ear. But I will still make, whether he comes out there or not, I will still make a $500 donation in Chris's name. And other than that, I mean, just thank you for sharing my videos. Thank you for coming along. Thank you for sharing my link to the donation on all of your social media platforms. No child deserved cancer. No donations too small. And as you can tell by the change in my breathing and the slower pace at which the trees are passing, I'm going uphill. So I'm going to get after this uphill and get on it. I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, so it's rolling right about 6 o'clock, and I got a late start. I didn't start at 7, I started at 8:30. But that's okay, because my cousins visited, and that was really cool. Not a big deal. Because of the ups, and oh my God, they were up. And then on top of the ups, they were rocky. Like, just all day was just rocky. And everyone says, oh, Pennsylvania, it's rocky. You don't understand the depths of how rocky it actually is. And I never did until I walked it. Even now, I'm going downhill, and it's super rocky, and I'm watching where I put my feet, and I'm being very, very careful. So because of that, going up, huge rocks and unstable rocks going down, I managed to get about 24 miles in today, which I'm fine with. That's fine. There's a shelter that's just right here, about a mile away. And then there is the next shelter is about 10 miles away. I would have liked to have been at that one, but it's just not going to happen. I don't feel like racing the sun too terribly much more. I want to get to a shelter. I want to just kind of lay down, play some ukulele, get something to eat. The water source at this next shelter, it's about a half a mile away from the shelter, which I'm not happy with. So what I'm going to probably end up doing is using the water that I have and making my ramen with that, but it's Gatorade water. But it's berry, so it'll be berry chicken flavor. And that's okay. That seems reasonable. As you can tell by the increased strain in my voice, I'm going up again. Oh, and that's what it looks like. And really, that's what it's looked like all day. I think that what I'm going up now is just kind of tame compared to what I was going up. And again, I can show it to you all day long. But it's just something that you don't get. I never got it. People were just like, oh yeah, it's Pennsylvania's rocky. I'm like, okay, Pennsylvania's rocky. No, Pennsylvania's rocky. Okay, Pennsylvania's rocky. But Pennsylvania's rocky. So again, not a big deal. But sometimes there's water at these shelters where it's not on the app or the map. So maybe there's water there. If not, again, I'll just have berry chicken. And then in the morning I'll have berry tea. Berry vanilla tea. and that'll be fine. I'll just make do with what I have. So really weird, after lunch, I was on the trail after lunch, and I saw 2 police officers on the trail. They weren't hiking. They were walking back from somewhere, trying to keep their shoes clean, and it was muddy. And so it was an odd diversion on a trail. Anyway, I was going down, and then I just went all up all of a sudden, and it seems like I made a hairpin turn, and I'm back to down. Like, literally in the same spot I was. I hope I'm on the trail. Not sure I am. But, yes, these 2 police officers, I saw them. I'm like, hey, officers, how you doing? I saw your car out by the road. And they're like, oh, yeah, we're just investigating someone gave us a call about a funny smell at a campsite over here, and it just turned out to be a dead deer. I said, oh, okay, that's cool, thanks. And then as I was walking towards my travels, were going to take me right past the dead deer, which I never did see, but I smelled. But it took me by this one fella, and he had short hair, he had army boots on, and he was sitting at the edge of a river, and he's like, yeah, man, the cops are just here, and there's apparently an abandoned campsite just right over there, and then right past it is a dead deer, so you'll either see it or smell it. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And he was really weird, and so he said, he asked me if I knew anything about mushrooms, and I said, well, no, I don't. I know that you don't eat them. And he said, oh, okay. He said, I got some soaking in this river right here. I think they'll be okay. And I'm like, all right, friend, that's all you. Woohoo. And then I passed, and I kept on going. And about maybe 100 meters later, I came across that campsite that was abandoned. And there was quite a bit of army gear there. Army paraphernalia, army gear, whatever you want to call it. And I thought, that was odd. You know, that fella had army boots on. Did he come across and, you know, and he had a tent out by the river. I'm like, was that somebody else's tent? And, you know, he offed them and then buried the body and then put a dead deer on top of it. I don't know. It's food for thought. But that's what, yeah. I just thought that was kind of odd. Overall, it's been a good day. Both of my ankles hurt. Both of my feet hurt. Excuse me. My left one is a lot more sore than my right. Like, it feels like stress fracture sore. But there's nothing I can do about it except keep walking. So, I mean, let's say I stopped, then, well, I have to come back out here next year, and I'd be right in my same predicament at the same spot. So I think I would rather just try to knock this out this year and be done with it. Yeah, but just up that way is a shelter. It's less than a mile. I'm hoping there's water there, but I'm planning for there not to be water, and I have a plan for that. So, yeah, there we go. So by the time this gets posted, it'll probably only be 7 days left. But Chris has said that he's going to come out here for a week for $500, which I'm putting that in. But for $1,000, I'll make it 2, and for $1,500, I'll make it 3. And I know he has this car project that's going on, so it's really, really generous of him. And trust me, you want him on this trail. He's so funny. But you know, no donation is too small. Share my social media with everybody. Share my donation link site with everybody. And let's see how long we can get Chris out here for. Yeah. So I will probably see you guys tomorrow unless something interesting happens within the next mile. I don't think it will. I think it'll just be rocky. Oh, spoiler alert. Dang it. Yeah, so I love you guys, and thank you so much for coming on this journey with me. I cannot tell you how motivating you guys actually are. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.